Welcome back everybody, I hope you're having a great day today. It's a beautiful day, Nez is in the basket and we're ready for this episode. I'm ready for this episode, it's going to be fun. Jin's over there looking at stuff that doesn't exist, seeing the ghosts in the room that aren't here, and let's get into it. Post number 1, am I the gay hole for telling my mum that she can't name my baby after her? I, 25 female, am expecting my first baby with my partner, 31 male, and my mum's already started pushing for us to name the baby after her. She's been very insistent that if it's a girl, the baby should have her first name, and if it's a boy, the middle name should be hers. I understand that she's excited, but the thing is, I'm not comfortable with it. My mum and I have had a somewhat unhealthy relationship over the years, and while I love her, I don't want to name my child after her. I've mentioned that to her a few times, but she keeps on insisting, saying that I owe it to her and that it would be a special gift. You most definitely do not owe this to her. I have politely told her that my partner and I have our own ideas for names, and while we appreciate her suggestions, we've made our decision. Actually, no, we don't appreciate your suggestions. She's now upset and says that I'm being selfish. Oh my freaking god. And that I'm not honoring her properly. I fear that your mum's lost her mind, OP. I feel bad, don't feel bad, but at the same time, it's my baby, and I don't want to name my child after somebody who hasn't been the greatest influence in my life. Am I the gay hole for standing my ground? Of course not. You do not owe that to your mum. Like, hey, it's your child. Your mum doesn't get to name your child. Yeah, like this comment says, not the gay hole. Your mum's a nut job. 100%. I owe it to you to name my child after you? No, I bloody don't. And stop being so rude. Says that you're being selfish. Take a look in the mirror. Oh my god. You don't need to be so polite here, OP. Your mum's overstepping so bad, not taking no for an answer, and is now calling you selfish. How rude can your mum get? This comment says, not the a-hole. Tell her to get a cat and name it after herself to feed her narcissism. It's like when somebody demands that you buy them a specific present. It's like, well, it's not really a present anymore because I'm not even gifting it to you anymore because you're demanding it. It's the same thing here. Like, you're not honoring your mum by naming your child after her if she's demanding that you do it. The top comment, not the a-hole. This isn't a fairy tale. You don't owe anybody your firstborn child's name. Yeah, and that's so obvious. Like, how is this even real? The second top comment, not the a-hole. Even if your mum was the best mum of all time, you still don't have to name your child after her. It's your baby, your decision. This comment says, some of these posts just seem so fake. Maybe I'm just lucky to not have completely delusional people in my life. Yeah, like, how is it real? How does OP's mum even have the audacity to say stuff like this? This comment says, basically demanding your child names their child after you may not be the pinnacle of narcissism, but it sure as is one of its peaks, not the a-hole. You've been way too nice to your mum about this, OP, and you don't have anything to feel bad about. I feel bad, but at the same time, it's my baby, and I don't want to name my child after somebody who hasn't been the greatest influence in my life. You have absolutely no reason to feel bad. Your mum's overstepping everywhere here. She's now upset and says that I'm being selfish and not honoring her properly. Just the audacity in that sentence. Under that comment that said, not the a-hole, even if your mum was the best mum of all time, you still don't have to name your children after her. Somebody said, the best mum of all time would never demand that you name your baby after herself to begin with. Yeah, that's so right. Like, all of this is so frustrating. She shouldn't be demanding something like this to begin with. Yeah, so delusional, so entitled. And are you the a-hole, OP? No. Post number 2, am I the a-hole for giving my husband silent treatment after he told me that my post-birth body turns him off? Wow, that's already so frustrating. OP just had your child. I just had my first child about 2 months ago now. We did as the doctor told us and we didn't engage in sexual activity until the 6-week period. The first time I was mainly covered and it was great, nothing to complain about. The second time my husband, before anything happened, told me that it'd be better for me to wear a shirt during, like the last time. I was immediately defensive and I asked him why, and he told me it was because my post-birth tummy is uncomfortable to look at and it would turn him off. Let's just say he slept on the couch that night and I haven't been talking to him. I still can't believe that he said something like that to me and I just had his child. All the pain and the struggle that I went through just to be told the aftermath of it is a turn-off. I don't even want my husband touching me now, and I now feel insecure about my body after giving birth. Should I stop ignoring him or should I continue giving him the cold shoulder? Of course, it's not the a-hole consensus. There is an update to this one, so I'll read that in a second. But yeah, the top comment. Tell him that his ugly comment turned you off from being intimate with him. And this comment too, you brought a new life into the world. Your body rocks. He'll never be able to say that he did something so epic like that. Let him know how much he turns you off. OP's got a comment comment that says he kind of knew that he offended me and slept on the couch without protesting. He still tries to talk to me, but I ignore him. He gets upset by it and doesn't talk to me for the rest of the day. And OP's also got this comment. He's lovely to me usually. His comment about my stomach threw me off and offended me. I will eventually talk to him about it soon. Okay, so OP is planning to have a talk to them. Update. So after I'd seen many comments telling me that silent treatment and ignoring your spouse is a form of abuse, I decided that it's a better option to finally have a proper conversation about what he said to me. I told him how it offended me and that it upsets me that he feels that way towards my body after I've just given birth not that long ago. He told me that he knows it's messed up, but he can't help what turns him on.
Wrong answer. Let's go.
I should have described my body a little bit in the first post. I have the same frame as before pregnancy, but my stomach has a little pouch now which I need to work off. But I haven't had the time to be on a strict diet and exercise while taking care of a newborn. We kind of argued over this and he told me that he's just not used to seeing my body that way. And even seeing me pregnant was something that he had to get used to. But he did like seeing me that way. The conversation really didn't go anywhere productive, but we've been talking a little bit more. I'm still mad and I'm still offended by what he said, and that he hasn't formally apologized for hurting my feelings, even if it is just his opinion. I'm not trying to force him to be turned on by something that he's simply not into, but if I'd never asked him why he wanted me to cover up so bad, he would have kept me cluelessly covering up my body during sex so that he could still get pleasure without feeling uncomfortable about my body. I don't think it's fair to expect me to allow myself to be disrespected in that way. For those comments telling me to get over myself, I'm allowing my body to recover from birth. I'm sorry for not immediately jumping into intense cardio after being dismissed from the hospital, just so that my husband doesn't make offensive comments about my body. I did attempt a formal conversation like mentioned before, but when it starts becoming a debate or heated, my husband wants to cut the conversation short and tells me that I'm trying to start an argument between us. Right, okay, so he's still not really getting it. And OP also said that he still didn't apologize. Like, you tried to have a conversation about it, which is 100% the right thing to do. Like, in a situation like this, you two need to have clear communication. But yeah, OP's trying to have a conversation about it, but he still doesn't really get it and hasn't apologized either. The top comment says still not the a-hole. The second top comment says your husband fucking sucks. Did he give you any indication that he was this shallow before you married him and had children? And the comment below that, your husband's a fucking a-hole. Of course your first priority after pregnancy isn't going to be to hit the gym. Yeah, you have more important shit to do, like raise a newborn. He seems so ignorant and shallow. I'm so sorry that you had a child with this man. Yeah, the fact that he didn't realize how hurtful what he said was, and he just said, oh, well, I can't help what turns me on. Like, come on, dude. This comment says, not the a-hole. A husband should be supportive of his wife, especially while she's recovering from the birth of their child. His behavior is both mean and disgusting. Yeah, but for some reason doesn't understand that and still hasn't apologized. And also what, there are people saying that OP's being abusive by not wanting to talk to him? That's so wild. Yeah, your husband sucks, OP. And it was all because of a little pouch on your stomach? Yeah, how shallow can you be? And you tried to communicate about it. You tried to have a productive conversation, and it still didn't help. Netty Goose is gone. Come back, Goose. Yeah, like this comment says, what's he gonna do once you start aging? And the comment below that, you need to dump this motherfucker now. Heaven forbid if you got breast cancer. Yeah, then what would he do? Oh, you're not turning me on anymore, so I'm gonna leave you. Yeah, like this comment says, sounds like the type of guy who cheats on his pregnant wife, or wife after having a baby, and then blames it on the weight while gaslighting you. Yeah, 100%, and guaranteed he'd blame OP. The next one, am I the gay hell for refusing to let my dad's future stepdaughter stay with me for a week when my dad and his fiancée go on their honeymoon? My dad's engaged to a woman named Clara, and Clara has a 13-year-old daughter, Elizabeth. I don't live with my dad and Clara. I, 21 male, rent a place with my girlfriend, 21 female. We have a spare bedroom and we've had family members stay with us before. Because of this, and because Elizabeth doesn't have a dad or extended family in her life, and because nobody in our family will take Elizabeth for the week, my dad is pressuring me to let her stay with us for the week. Elizabeth is a brat and a spoiled one too. She thinks she's entitled to do what she wants to when she wants. My grandparents babysat her several times before and they said no more. The last straw was her taking $20 out of my grandparents' room to buy herself snacks, and she left the house and went to the store without asking. She'd snooped in other rooms of the house before. She broke stuff in their house before, like a vase, a picture frame, the handle on one of the kitchen cabinets. She's cursed at different members of my family, flipped them the bird, yelled at younger kids in my family, and has stolen food from their plates too, specifically the younger members of the family. We've had our encounters too. When I visited Dad and she tried to take my phone after I said no, know and was willing to fight me for it. Or when she got into my face because I didn't bring my PS5 over to Dad's house. I avoid going to Dad's house because I don't want to deal with Elizabeth. My dad knows all about this. He's choosing to sign up to be Elizabeth's stepdad, but he's saying that I should sign up to be her brother and to help her, and I told him no way. We fought about it because he sees me allowing her to stay as showing good faith in the new family, and he told me that Elizabeth will be around for the rest of my life, so I should try to get along. He told me that she needs somewhere to go and she's not going on honeymoon with him and Clara. I told him to pay someone to watch her because whoever gets stuck with her deserves it. He told me she's not that bad, and it's only a week. It's not like I can't have people over. My dad's not backing down, but neither am I. He's getting more pissed about it and maybe worried that he'll need to spend the money on finding somebody to stay with her. He told me this isn't how family treats each other and all that kind of crap. And look, I know Elizabeth's only 13. I know teens are moody. I know she's probably got her own trauma and so I'm coming here to ask if I'm the a-hole for refusing to let her stay for the week while my dad's on his honeymoon. Because my dad sure thinks so, and I know Clara does too. The goose is back, everybody. She thinks we're all a-holes because we're not giving her daughter more of a chance. This comment says not the a-hole, not only should your dad be respecting your boundary, but it's kind of weird for her mum to not secure living arrangements for her own child. The top comment says, first off, even if Elizabeth would be an angel, your dad's planning would be weird. You hardly know the girl, you're a young man sharing a place with your girlfriend. Yeah, that's weird. I'm talking as a father of 2 grown-up daughters. If I had a new girlfriend or fiance, I would never expect my grown-up daughters to babysit their partner's teenage kid. The thought would never have crossed my mind. And given her rap sheet, your father pressuring you is beyond weird. Downright evil. The whole "this isn't how family treats each other" spiel is emotional blackmail, and it should be treated as such. And yeah, by the way, tell your father emotional blackmail isn't how family treats each other. Please don't give in. And OP said, thank you, I'm prepared to stand strong on this and hold on to my no. My dad doesn't like it, and I know he's stressing, but he needs to figure out a different solution. You're very much not the a-hole consensus. And also, the goose is gone again. Pineapple toy is gonna have to do. The next one, am I the a-hole for always dumping lemon on all of my food? I might be the a-hole here, and I will accept my judgment. I grew up in a bit of a household where all food and leftovers were fair game, even when I became old enough to buy my own food. To combat this, I started absolutely drowning my food in lemon juice. I could tolerate the taste, and I even grew to quite like it. No one would touch my prepared food or leftovers. It's a habit that I've carried well into adulthood. I recently went on a large trip with some girlfriends. The Airbnb and excursions are all evenly split. Food is paid for by ourselves because some people have specialty allergies or foods. We've been going out to dinner the last few nights. I always ask for extra lemons at the table, and I soak my food before eating. After a couple of days into the trip, one of the girls complained at breakfast that I was making food inedible to other people. This was news to me because the only food that I was lemoning was my restaurant leftovers that I'd eat the next day. What apparently had been happening since the first night was one of the girls, the one who complained, stays up later than the rest of us and would eat or pick at any leftovers, disregarding the names on the containers. Wow, so first of all, it was your family members who'd eat all of your leftovers, and now this person. After 2 times trying my food on separate occasions, she realized what I was doing and was pissed off. I said that she shouldn't be eating other people's food, especially food that wasn't communal, and she said, well, it's just how the rest of us feel. No one else at the table said anything, and breakfast was tense. Later, while getting ready to go out, the other girls one by one told me that they didn't like their leftovers being eaten, and they were glad that I said something, but they didn't want tension going forward. That night at dinner, I purposely lemoned my food again. The complainer made an angry noise and stormed off to the bathroom. I didn't say anything, and the rest of our dinner continued normally without her, until she came back out sniffling before we left the restaurant. She gave me dirty looks the whole ride back, because she wants to be able to keep eating your food. This is so weird. I'm exasperated by this nonsense drama, but maybe I'm being a jerk? Am I the a-hole for souring the trip? No, definitely not. She should not be stealing your food, but also you shouldn't have to lemon up all of your food just so people don't steal it. But yeah, why's she upset at you? Because she can't eat your food anymore? The top comment says, not the a-hole. I can't believe that she's mad because she can't eat your food when you're not looking. I'm guessing she probably gets something small and cheap at the restaurants too, and that's how she tries to save money. And OP said she actually makes big shows about ordering the most expensive stuff on the menu, sometimes multiple entrees. Then her leftovers go untouched and she tosses them out when we get home. I cannot for the life of me understand it. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever read. She's angry at you because she can't eat your food anymore, and for some reason she feels entitled to eat your food. She gets her own food, a lot of food. She has a lot of leftovers, but she throws them out so that she can eat other people's leftovers. The comment below that says, not the a-hole. OP, tell her to stick to her own box of leftovers or suffer the consequences. I will say, although not asked to judge, your friends softly are the big brown eye for not standing up to the girl and telling her that they didn't like her stealing either. That's contributing to her sense of entitlement, and everybody feels the same way. Congrats on having a backbone. Yeah, and the comment below that, not the a-hole. Am I supposed to season my food to your liking so that you can steal my food after I go to bed? I am preparing my food my preferred way. Eat your own damn food. So entitled and so rude. I can't believe that you're eating the food the way that you want to eat it, which makes me not want to eat your food, which I'm entitled to for some reason. Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole. Her sense of entitlement is crazy. She has absolutely no right to scavenge your leftovers. I'm surprised she had the audacity to even say anything about it. Yeah, how are these people real? Like, I'm so upset that I can't mooch off you. Okay, what? I don't understand how these are real people. And also, the lemon juice thing is so wild. Like, it's OP's choice, of course. But oh my god, I would try so many other things before resorting to covering all of my food in lemon juice. But like, it's so awful that OP even needed to do that. The next one, am I the gay hole for refusing to sign my parents' house, which is under my name, over to my wife if I die? So here's the backstory. In 2008, my parents lost their money, and it got to the point that they were no longer able to afford their house. My dad's quite a bit older than my mum, and his biggest worry is that he's not able to leave her enough to live and pay for a home and rent without having to financially rely on me and my sister. So this is the plan that we came up with. We found a house with a large lot that we bought under my name. My parents put down a significant amount of their savings for the down payment for the property and to build a detached accessory dwelling unit for them to live in. I lived in the main house for a while and my parents in the unit. The agreement was once I moved out, we would rent out the main house. I would be responsible for the main house and the maintenance and the repairs, and my parents are responsible for the unit. We would split any property taxes not covered by the rental of the other property. I live in a very expensive area, so my parents will have a place to live for the rest of their life without any stress of becoming homeless. And I end up with a great investment property that I already have quite a bit of equity in. I do have the house in a trust. In the event of my untimely death, the ownership of the house will transfer to my parents and then transfer to my partner and children once they pass away. My wife wants me to change the trust to have the deed of the property go to her instead of my parents. She said that she, of course, will let them live there, but wants control of the property if I die. I feel really uncomfortable signing over the house my parents paid for to her. Even though it's in my name and I'm spending some money on property taxes and maintenance, I still consider it their house since they've paid for everything. Part of the reason I feel uncomfortable is because when we were updating our life insurance policies, when we got married, she made sure that I removed my parents as beneficiaries and added her on as a 100% beneficiary, but then refused to add me as a beneficiary to her policy and had 100% going to her sister. Am I the gay hole for refusing to sign the house over to her? No, definitely not the gay hole. Yeah, the top comment, part of the reason I feel uncomfortable is because when we updated our life insurance policies, what OP just said. Yeah, that's some red flags right there. Like, that's a big one right there. She's covered if you die, but you aren't if she dies? Not the gay hole, and I'd consider counselling at a minimum. And OP said, I am going to counselling myself, but I have not been able to convince her to go with me. This comment says, not the a-hole, you married her, so it sounded pretty reasonable until she made her sister the beneficiary, and you just stayed married to her. Like, what's even going on here? What kind of marriage is this? And OP said she has some really amazing qualities, which is why I married her, but she's a very strong, stubborn person, and I'm extremely passive to a fault. So I feel like she's walking all over me. And the comment below that says she is. This comment says, not the a-hole, your wife is so greedy and she wants it all. Put your parents back on the beneficiary list and ignore your wife. She will kick them out if she inherits it. Yeah, 100%. Like, what's her thought process here? You have to do all this stuff for her, but she doesn't have to do any of it for you? This comment says, not the a-hole, your wife hasn't paid any money towards the house, has she? Do not sign the house over to her, because if something does happen to you, who's to say she won't kick your parents out of the unit? Yeah, and OP said no, she hasn't. In her eyes, she's spending money on it because the money that I'm putting towards the house is taking money away from our family. Yeah, the comment below that, she doesn't sound very nice at all. Take care of your family like she's taking care of her sister. If you choose to have kids with her, put your children's name on the property. And the comment below that says, why are you still married to her? She's using you. I bet if you were to unfortunately pass away, she would boot your parents out of their home. And OP said, unfortunately, this all came up after we found out that she was pregnant. And the response says, people co-parent all the time. In fact, divorcing when your child's a baby means they'll never know any different. You're the beneficiary on nothing. And she wants your insurance and your house. In what world is that fair? Yeah, I'd be afraid that she was planning to kill me. Like, hey, do you want me to die so that you can take everything? And this comment says, sorry, she made you remove your parents as beneficiaries, but refused to add you as hers? Run, not the a-hole. The next one, am I the a-hole for calling off my wedding after finding out that my fiance never had the money that he promised to contribute? I, 33 female, have been with my partner, 32 male, for 5 years. He proposed in March 2024 and we agreed to get married in December 2025. He promised to cover 70% of the wedding cost and said that he'd transfer money to my account whenever I paid for something. I ended up handling all the planning and bookings. By April this year, I'd already paid around 500 grand in local currency, but when I checked, he hadn't sent me a single cent. I kept reminding him and he always said, yes, baby, after work. I work at an accounting firm that has over 40 clients, so I'm insanely busy and I didn't have time to double check every day. But I trusted him. When we finally sat down to talk about it, I found out that he didn't actually have the money. He planned to ask his parents or use future income, meaning that he'd been lying about having savings. All of this time, he bragged about being financially stable and successful. He's a lawyer, but apparently it was all talk. I understand that people can go through tough financial times, but lying about it and letting me carry all the burden? That felt like a betrayal. I decided to call off the wedding and the relationship. Now he's throwing the wedding expenses in my face, even though I did all the work. My parents think I should go through with it since the engagement has already been announced to the family. What are your parents even talking about? You should marry somebody because you've already told your family that you're going to. That's not a reason to marry somebody. Am I the a-hole for calling it off? I feel heartbroken, used, and honestly fooled. And seriously, if you can't afford to get married, why propose in the first place? Yeah, like this comment says, because you already announced it is among the worst reasons to go through with a marriage. Like, oh, people are gonna, be a little bit confused? It's your marriage, it's your relationship. You don't marry somebody just to not cause a little bit of confusion. The second top comment says not the a-hole, but to be clear, this is about the lying and the betrayal, not necessarily about the money. And the top comment says you didn't call off a wedding. You cancelled a subscription to nonsense. Good for you. Yeah, and also this comment. I truly hope that 500k in your local currency is not a major amount. And the comment below that, never go through with a wedding to please somebody else. Dumb attitude from your parents. Hugs to you. Yeah, oh, you better get married so that you don't confuse the relatives. What? And the comment below that, your parents want you to go through with marrying a man who's a liar? Way to have your daughters back, mum and dad. Yeah, and this comment too, are your parents always bad parents? Or just when it comes to losing face? Yeah, once again, very much a not the a-hole consensus. The next one, am I the a-hole for booking my own Airbnb so that I don't have to sleep on a couch for 6 nights? My immediate and extended family have booked a vacation for later in the summer. My aunt who found this place knew the owner and they got a great deal. My aunt initially said that there are 6 bedrooms. 1 room for her and her husband, my uncle, 1 room for my parents, 1 room for my cousin and her husband, 1 room for my other cousin and his wife, and 1 room for their kids who are both under 10. The last bedroom, you may wonder, is where my aunt made an innocent mistake in miscounting. There are only 5 bedrooms. They told me that my boyfriend and I will have to sleep on a pull-out couch. I told my parents that I'd rather not sleep on a couch even if it does pull out. I also don't want to make my boyfriend sleep on the couch with me either, for his own privacy. It's in the living room, which is in the middle of everything. I'd rather not be woken to people starting their day, and I'd rather not have to change in the bathroom each and every time, or even leave all of my stuff in the living room as well. I don't want to change in my parents' room either because I know that I'd probably rush so that they can have their own privacy. I don't want to put my luggage in anybody else's room and fill their room with my clutter, and same goes for my boyfriend. I don't want to make him do all that either. My family has never had this big of a vacation all together in such a long time. I'd love to be involved and whatnot, but I said that I'd rather not go if I can't have a room to myself, or I'll book my own place nearby and I'll pay my part for the main house everybody's in regardless. My mum refused both options as I will ruin the trip if I don't stay under the same roof. If I get my own place to stay, it would solely be to sleep. I plan to be with my family at all other times and events. I don't care about the price of only getting an Airbnb to sleep. I want my privacy. I haven't mentioned it to my cousins or anybody else yet that I'm considering getting my own place places nearby as possible though. Am I the a-hole? It doesn't sound like it because you're trying to do it to not be a pain. Like, you don't want to be in everybody's way, you want your own privacy, but you also want to be a part of it. So yeah, I feel like it's completely reasonable for you to say, okay, I'm going to book a place to sleep, but you'll spend all the other time with them. Like, that wouldn't even affect them, so why would they care? And it definitely won't affect the trip. OP said they'll spend all the time there and then sleep at a different place. That seems pretty reasonable. Right, okay, yeah, definitely a not the a-hole consensus. This comment says, not the a-hole, you don't need your mum's permission. There's always a member of the family that gets treated like this and expected to just suck it up. Say no. Yeah, you don't need your mum's permission. You and your boyfriend are adults, you're not hurting anybody, you're not ruining the trip. It's not gonna change the trip for anybody else. The top comment says, not the a-hole, I'd get your own Airbnb. Why can't the kids get the pull-out couch? Are you expected to pay your fair share? What would that be? Is it per family, per person? Like, are you expected to pay the same as all the adults but the kids get a room? As for mum, how will it ruin the trip? And if she feels that way, is she willing to take the living room? I think not. It seems that your aunt's whole family gets the main rooms. Maybe suggest to mum that she might like to Airbnb with you and the boyfriend, where if they need quiet time, they have a place to do so. Mum's probably saying the trip would be ruined because she would be the only ones from her part of the family if you don't stay there. And OP said, my aunt's who planned it and found the place, and the young children are her direct bloodline, so I guess they have the upper hand over me. My mum is sisters with my aunt who booked it, but the young children are my aunt's sons, so I guess that trumps my 24-year-old ass lol. Per person pays. I will be paying the same as the adults. I don't mind still paying it to keep the peace, even if I get my own place to sleep. My mum's always been like that. Wonderful woman, but perfectionist, I guess. She always says how the family has to stick together and bullshit. I don't know, I'm close with her, but it's annoying to hear lol. The comment below that says, please do not pay for this house that has no room for you if you don't stay there. And don't promise that if you get your own place, you'll only sleep there and spend all your time with your family. It's your vacation too, and you deserve to be comfortable and have fun. You're being way too accommodating. And yeah, if you and your boyfriend do want to get your own Airbnb nearby, do it OP, 100%. Very much a not the a-hole consensus, and I feel like that's enough for today. We need to read something wholesome. That second round of sleep after you wake up too early really hits different. Oh my god, yeah, it's so good, isn't it? Like, you wake up a little bit too early and it's sort of cold but also like a good temperature, and you're so unbelievably comfortable, and then you get to fall asleep again. Yeah, that's so nice. I love when that happens. And this one, me about to make a ridiculous amount of spaghetti because I never know how much to cook. That is so funny. Like, wait a second, I didn't even put that much into the pot, but now I've got 2 tons of cooked pasta. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a great time today. The comment of the day goes to GCSE history lesson. Every time Vincey says the next one, his voice gets more and more concerned. Wow, that's so interesting. I didn't notice that, but I 100% believe it. Like, okay, moving on to the next one. I'm horrified. But as concerning as the stuff is that we read, I love reading it so much. It's so fun to read, and I love making these episodes. But yeah, that's so funny that you noticed that. Like, my voice actually gets more concerned sounding. That's so funny. Thank you for the comment, and thank you for the support. And I'll see you in the next episode, everybody. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every other day. Bye!